I need you to get me out again, God. I'm locked up behind these walls again, God. I got these chains, I'm shackled from my hands to my feet. If you get me out this one more time, God, I promise. Broken to redemption. Yeah. Ain't nobody tell me nothing, lost, but now I'm bound. Broken to redemption, yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. So thank you for joining us if you are, and if you're not, hop on because this is going to be a good one. My name's Jamin Porter. I have a ministry called From Felon to Faith, but I am here on the Broken to Redemption channel, and I want to bring in Brandon Scotto. Come on in. We're going to hear about his story this time.
What's up, brother?
What's up, Brandon? How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, man. Blessed by the best.
Yep.
Blessed by the best. All right, so we're going to be interviewing Brandon here, and I got some questions laid out for him. Just some questions I generated. Thought they'd be good questions for him to answer, dipping into his past, present, and we're going to look into his future. So first off, Brandon, how was life growing up for you?
Man, life growing up for me, I got taken away, given away when I was 6 months old to my grandmother because my mother and father had issues, you know. I don't know the exact nature of the issues, but drugs, family issues played a part. And my grandmother took me in at 6 months old. She just had a heart attack, and her thinking was that she didn't want me to go to the foster care, you know what I mean, at a young age and not really have a chance at life. So she took me in, and from a very young age, I've always felt different than the other kids at school, right? Like I would see these kids' mom and dads coming to pick them up, and I would always wonder, where's my mom and dad? Because I was too young to understand. I don't know what's going on. All I know is that my mom and dad aren't present, right? And there was always that empty part of my heart, and I didn't know how to express myself or express how I'm feeling. So I resorted to trying to be accepted by everybody in the school, right? It wasn't going my way, so I started stealing from my grandmother to go buy all the cool stuff that all the cool kids had, thinking that if I had everything like that, I would be cool, right? And it didn't go like that. I was still the outcast. I still got picked on, and but that didn't stop me. It didn't stop me for trying to achieve being cool, and I just kept stealing over and over, you know. And she resorted to getting rid of all her credit cards or debit cards and getting a safe with cash in it. And she put the safe under the bed with all the cash, and in no time at all, I was popping that safe and stealing the cash, and still doing the same old thing. And yeah, that's my childhood is trying to be accepted, you know, and as well as most of my adult life was trying to be accepted, you know, even if it was by the wrong people, I didn't care, you know.
Yes, correct. Yeah, it sounds like we had, you know, childhoods that are a lot the same. You know, I was a thief from the time I was probably younger than 14 years old, but once I started my drug use, man, I was a big thief. But yeah. So who were your biggest influences? I mean, I'm sure your grandmother was one of your influences, but like, you know, anybody else?
So I had my uncle in my life, and he tried to fill that void in my heart of not having a fatherly figure, right? And he'd take me to baseball games, take me fishing, take me out to go do boy things, play catch with me. And he was one of the big influences, you know. Like, he passed away a few years ago, and you know, like all the things he was trying to teach me about becoming a man, like he was kind of hard on me, right? Maybe he seen my future before I did, and that's why he was hard on me. But he played a big part. Like, there's still things that I'll do today, and I'm like, oh, I learned that from him, you know, like even training my dog. He taught me how to train dogs, and like, so it's like it's still constantly going, the stuff that he taught me, you know. And like, I'll be forever grateful for, like, regardless the way I turned out for a little bit, like there will always be those moments where he inspired me to be more like him, you know?
That's right. Sounds like a great guy. And like when you become a parent, they tell you don't try to be your children's best friend. You got to be hard on them. You got to correct them when they're wrong. And
Oh,
same with biblically as well. We need to be corrected when we're wrong and we're walking our walk. And you can't get mad about that. If someone sees you doing something that's wrong, if they love you, if they're good Christian people, they will check you on that.
right.
So what led you into crime and drugs?
Well, I started crime at a young age by just stealing from my grandmother, right? Even I may have thought that it was harmless, right? And like when we're kids that young, we don't understand crime, right? We know right and wrong, but you tell us
Right.
that it's a crime, and it's like that's not a crime. You know what I mean? It's family, right?
Yeah.
So it started at damn near 8 or 9 years old when I did it, right? And
Right.
she put me in juvenile hall the first time for doing it, thinking that it was gonna check me and like put me in my place, and it didn't. The minute I walked into juvenile hall, I felt at home, like there was kids like me there, that kids that aren't understood, kids that don't have the parents, kids that are lost. So when I walked into there, I see these guys being gangsters, and I was like, oh, maybe that's what I want to be, right? And I felt the idea of being an outlaw, a gangster, a thug, right? And it just took off from there. The crime, you know what I mean? From a very young age, I went to juvenile hall at 12, and like you know how it is going to jail. Like you go to jail, you network, you learn more things, you meet new people, you get introduced to more things, right? And like at 12 years old, I was still oblivious to any type of drug. Okay. Like, yeah, I knew there was beer and all that. Like, grown-ups like to drink beer and whatever, right? I didn't necessarily know the effects that it played on people, right? Made them feel good, gave them all of this confidence. I didn't know any of that. So when I got out of juvenile hall at 12 years old, I'm walking around my little neighborhood and I'm thinking, I'm the shit, right? I've been in juvenile hall. So of course, I attracted these types of people, right? The problem childs. I started hanging out with them, and then started drinking a little bit. I really didn't like the taste that much, and but once again, I struggled with always trying to be accepted. So even though it didn't taste that good, these cool kids are doing it, so I'm gonna do it, right? And if you can imagine me stealing money for clothes to try to be cool, imagine me stealing money now to get everybody drunk, to be the life of the party. Oh, don't worry, I'll bring the money, or I'll find a way to get the booze, right? Same thing. And then I got introduced to some weed. And when I met some dude, like, I don't know, I left the Boys and Girls Club to go to the park right behind there, and there's this dude, and he asked me if I wanted to buy some weed. And I was like, well, I've never tried it. And he's like, here, you want to? And I was like, not right here. Right? I said, let me buy it. So he gave me a ridiculous amount for whatever I paid, right? I didn't know nothing about it. So he gave me like a little nug for like $20, right? Probably a couple hits. And then I'm asking him, okay, so how do I do this? And he's like, what? So he tells me, well, you need a pipe or da-da-da-da. So I get on the bus and I roll down to the smoke shop and I buy a pipe. Okay. Have it in my pocket. I'm feeling good, ready to go. And it's also like, I didn't want to do it with him because what if I didn't do it right? Right. And he doesn't like it, or I'm embarrassed. Right.
Right.
So I put it in my little pocket and I wait till I get home that night. And as soon as I get to my room, get ready for bed, I find a little lighter and I hit it. And of course, I cough, virgin lungs, and I got really hungry, right? Out through the whole kitchen of food, right? And I liked the effects that it produced, right? One, it didn't taste disgusting, right? And two, it made me feel good. Okay. So I go out and to the neighborhood and of course, I start inquiring about it, right? And these guys are looking at me like, where has this kid been, right? Like, oh, we didn't know you smoke. And I was like, well, I didn't, but I tried it and I want more. So now I'm supporting alcohol. Now I'm supporting marijuana, all from the courtesy of my grandmother's money, right? Mind you, my grandmother did her best with me. She tried to give me everything that I wanted and needed, right? And like, okay, let's not say that. She gave me what I needed in life, right? It may not always been what I wanted, but she gave me or tried to do the best with what she had. Okay. And I was greedy at a young age. I wanted everything and I want it now. Even if I have to hurt you in the process of stealing your money. Like as a young kid, you don't understand the meaning of money, right? You're a kid. You don't have no bills. You don't got to pay rent. You don't got to pay a car. You don't got to pay nothing, right?
Right.
So when you're stealing this money, you're like, it's nothing, right? But to the grown-ups, it's like, dude, you're taking my money for food. You're taking my money for grocery, like rent, everything, right? You're taking my means to survive. And I didn't get it. I mean, I don't think no kid gets it. And one night we just got our hardwood floors done in our house. And once again, that monkey was on my back where I wanted to sneak out of the house and go hang out with the cool kids. And my grandmother had a lot of health problems, right? So near this time, she had heart problems. She had failing kidneys. She had to go to dialysis 3 times a week, right? And I would go with her, right? And she thought that I was just being the best grandson ever, right? Going there with her and making sure she was okay. But that thing took, I don't remember how long it took, maybe 3 hours, 2 hours. I'm not sure, right? But I always had ulterior motives. And while she was hooked up to the dialysis machines, I would take her credit cards because she started getting her credit cards. She seen that it wasn't helping, like no matter what I did. So why inconvenience her, right? I started taking her credit cards while she would be asleep or whatever, right? Knowing that she has to go to dialysis the next day or whatever. And she'd go to dialysis. And I would say, I'm going to go wait in the car or I'm going to go to the cafeteria, right? So she'd give me money to go to the cafeteria. Right across the street from the hospital, there's this mall called The Block where it's the outlets of Orange now. And I would hit every single store, Vans, GameStop, right? Whatever piqued my interest as I'm walking by. I'm walking in there and I'm getting it, right? And she even put a PIN number on her card, right? That didn't stop me. I knew the last 4 of her social security number. I'd call the credit card company and I'd change the PIN and then go right across the street. You know what I mean? And like looking back now on it, it was like, man, I was a piece of crap before I even knew what a piece of crap was, right? So I sneak out of the house that day, okay? I turn on the shower, thinking that she'll think I'm in the shower. It's all good, right? Naive, right? Like, I'm going to be out for a couple hours. My grandma's going to hear the water for a couple hours and not put 2 and 2, right? Stupid. The shower on, dip out the front door as quietly as possible. I go out and do my thing, couple hours. I come back and I open the door and my feet step in about an inch of water.
Oh.
And I was all, uh-oh. I'm in deep crap right now. But of course, I think I can save it all, right? And get away with everything. So I said, let me go see how far back in the house that it actually went because my bedroom and bathroom are in the front of the house. Let me go see how much it's actually spread to it and maybe I can stop it. As soon as I get about to the dining room, my grandmother walks around the corner and starts calling me every single name in the book, right? And she says, where have you been? Da, 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 da. And of course, I try to play it off. Oh, I was here. She goes, you think I'm stupid? You don't think that I checked every single room in this house and you were gone? And there was a broom right there and I pick it up and my intention is not to hit her with it, right? But I'm messed up, drunk, stoned, and I start swinging this broom. And the end of the broom falls off of the handle and hits her in the head, right? She thinks I did it on purpose. She calls 911. In the back of the cop car I go, back to juvenile hall. she signs away guardianship of me back to the state of California. She says that I am too much to handle. She can't do it with all her health problems, and I understand that completely, right? She tried to give me to my uncle. I refused to go, and it was like that. But once again, I ended up back in juvenile hall, and like that's what I wanted. That's the life that I chose because I'm cool in there, and like I'm around people. I don't got to worry about anything. Everything comes to me, right? And I forget how much time I got on that one. And but right before I'm about to get out, I was at a junior like a camp for juveniles. Maybe like a couple weeks before I'm supposed to get out, the counselor calls me in the office and he tells me, "Hey, I'm sorry to tell you this, but your grandmother passed away." Right? And right then and there, like my world collapsed. I knew what was coming, right? And it's not necessarily that I was selfish and I didn't care about my grandmother, right? Despite my actions towards her, right? I did. She was my grandmother. She saved me, and that hurt, And it's like, how do I cope now, right? I don't have my mother. I don't have my father. My uncle washed his hands of me because of the way I turned out, right? Kind of, not so he was mad. He was disappointed. Right. Of course, he spent all those days and all those hours with me trying to get me to become a good man, and I refused to. So when they told me my grandmother passed away, I knew what was next. I knew I was going to the system, group homes, placements, whatever, right? They don't want to put me in foster homes because I'm a bad kid. Nobody wants to have a troubled child. So they're going to put me in all these government-funded housings for troubled youth. But I embraced it. I said, you know what? This is what it is. This is my life, and I'll get used to it. So they kicked me out to the first placement. It was in Yucaipa, and I show up there, and it's really not my cup of tea. Okay, like it's just like juvenile hall, but just a little bit more freedom where you can run. And I organized a plan. I met somebody from Orange County right there, and we formulated a plan to escape in the middle of the night. And we ran, we ran right down the baseball field, soccer fields, all the way into the city of Yucaipa. And we hitchhiked all the way, not hitchhiked, sorry. We walked all the way from Yucaipa all the way to Orange County. That was a long walk.
How many miles was that? Because I don't know where Yucaipa is.
Okay, let me look it up right now. It's got to be like, watch, I'll tell you on the maps right now. $55 miles.
Ah, that's a good strike.
That's a good stretch right there, right? And and then when was it that time I came back? I was living on top of a laundromat with my buddy, nice. Right? It was cold, and the dryers kept us warm from the outlets, right?
I bet. Hug a pipe.
Yeah. And then my homegirl lived right there, right by the laundromat. So like really we would just go there to sleep and chill, right?
Yeah.
And like in the morning her mom would go to work. We just go over there, hang out all day, eat, shower, sleep, whatever, right? Back to the rooftop we go, right? Like Batman. And I didn't dabble with anything else but drinking beer and smoking weed, right? It was never introduced to me like that. I was still really naive to it. And being on the run never goes as planned. You want to be out there forever, and it doesn't happen. So you get busted and you go right on back and you meet more people, right? And I finally got this sailing juvenile hall who was a tweaker. And so of course we exchange information, and yeah, when I get out, I'm gonna hit you up. We're gonna do all this. Oh, we are. Yeah. I tell him, oh, you tattoo too? Hell yeah, you're gonna tap me up, okay? And so I get out, group home, foster home again, run, come back, start networking again. Hit him up. He comes, or forget how we met up. Like I think I went to him by his house or whatever, and we're chilling in a park, and he pulls out this pipe. He says, "You want some?" And I was like, "I've never seen it. What's that?" And he says, "You don't know what this is?" I was like, "No." And he says, "It's meth." What the heck is meth? He says, "You want to try it?" And I said, "Why not?" And so he took a hit, right? And then he got a straw, and we both put our mouths on the end of the straws, and he blew the smoke, right? Because I didn't know how to do it. But the minute that smoke went into my lungs, right, it was like tingling, right? It was like, oh wow, this is nice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, can we get some more of this?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And people always ask me, when did your addiction start? Right? When did you take the first hit of drugs and alcohol? And I said, you know what? Drugs and alcohol the addiction doesn't start when you take that first hit or that first drink. It takes years before it's actually done, right? So what's the core base of it, right? That's why I tell everybody, like, addiction isn't just when you start it. There's something always lurking in the closet on why you picked up that drug and you ran with it, right? Mine was abandonment. Always wanted to be accepted, right? The lifestyle. And he gave me that first hit, right? Although I didn't try it again until, because of course I got busted, right? Stealing cars. And when I'm in juvenile hall, I'm about to turn 18, right? So I'm in this program. It's called YLA, and I got to a high program. So basically what that means is that same mall that I used to go to when my grandma was on dialysis, I got a job at Anchor Blue, and I would go there and work, right? After my school at juvenile hall, right? I'd work there till about 8 p.m. and I'd come back. And if you think I followed the rules there, I sure in the heck didn't. You know, I bought a cell phone. I brought it back every night. And I'd always tell the staff that, oh, I get off at this time, right? And I would use the computer at work to forge my schedule. So I would say I got off at 8 when I really got off at 6. So I got 2 hours to play right there in the mall, okay? And once again, hanging out with the bad crowd, and you know, trouble attracts trouble. And I got in good with these white dudes, you know, that had all these tattoos, and I wanted to be just like them, right? And
were these people older than you, would you say? Like most of your influencers back then, were they older?
So when I was younger, like 12 years old, those kids were probably like 14, 15, right? And then as I started nearing 18, they went from anywhere from 18 all the way up into their 40s. You know, like if you had tattoos and you've been to prison and you did drugs, like I'm looking up to you 100% because that's what I want to be like when I grow up, right? Like totally screwed up in the mind, but you know what? They're doing it and they make it look cool. Let's do it. But so I get out of juvenile hall that time, and I moved to Idaho thinking maybe a change of scenery will help me, right? No, it didn't. Even though I didn't do meth again until further down the road, but I was still drinking and smoking weed in Idaho and still being a low life. And things didn't work out, so I came back to California, and I moved in with my buddy. It's funny because where I live now, I lived 2 complexes down with my buddy when I moved back from Idaho years ago. So it's a little full circle, you know?
Yeah.
And I thought, you know, cool, let me see what I can do out here. And I started hanging around with the wrong people, and I started stealing more cars, right? And I got caught. 18 years old, got caught with the GTA, and they sent me to county jail. From juvenile hall to county jail is really a big difference, right? Like I walk into booking and I was like, whoa, this is awesome, right? As sick as that sounds, it's like, whoa, this is pretty cool, man, right? And then I felt like, oh, I really made it. I'm really that thug, that gangster that I wanted to be, right? Little that I know is that in county jail, the dudes that I hung out with told me about all these politics, but of course it goes in one ear and right out the other, right? Because I'm a kid. I don't pay attention to that. I just want to go to jail. So I go to jail and get put in a tank, and they start the white boys are giving me the rundowns, and I was like, okay, cool, I can do all of this, right? Once again, networking, right? Getting everybody's numbers. I only had to do like 90 days for that car.
Yeah, it's real minor. Your first
slap on the wrist, right? Yeah,
like
and
four of them get you like 6 months, like with Sac County.
Yeah, and
it's
then,
like business as usual in Sac, or L.A. or Orange County.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm in there and I don't mind it, right? When I was in Idaho, my father contacted me. He found me on MySpace, and I accepted his apology, right? Because
your real father, right?
Yeah, my real father, and I accepted his apology, and like we built a relationship, right? And it was mostly through phone calls and letters because I was always in prison, right? But he found me, and then that car. I don't think he knows this, right? Well, he will now. That car that I stole, I was actually gonna drive it up to Washington to live with him.
Right? Oh yeah.
And I got busted, and I called him, and he was like, "Man, like, get it together." Can you hear the rain?
No.
Or no.
Is it raining where you're at? Whatever happened to it never rains in Southern California? Is that a lie?
They lied.
Dang.
It's coming down hard right now.
Was that Tony? Bunch of liars they are. My wife will appreciate that joke.
As long as you can't hear it, because I turn off background noise, so it's good.
I can hear drippage or something. I don't know what I hear. I don't know.
So real
quick. When you accepted your dad's apology, at this time at all, do you believe in God at all? Do you even care? Do you even have any kind of recollection for God or a higher power or the earth or whatever you believe in?
So let me say this. I kind of grew up going to church. Okay. My grandmother she didn't go with me. It was more like, let me drop you off so I can get some peace of mind, right? So she figured the best spot would drop me off at Sunday school, right? So I grew up on all those VeggieTale movies and like going to these Sunday schools, right? Even went to a Christian school, and I guess I didn't understand the concept of God, right? Like, I knew who they said Jesus was and who God is, but like, did I really have a true conception of what he was?
Right.
No. Yeah. I don't. To be honest, I got baptized Mormon with my grandma, right? She made me get baptized Mormon, right? Like, I don't know, something for us to do together. We fell off that wagon pretty fast, right? And but still, I didn't have the conception of God, who God really is, and what Jesus Christ did for us, right? I knew that these people believed in something that we can't see, right? And I used to think when I was a kid, like, well, how can you believe in something that you can't see, right? Like in Sunday school, they tell the miracles and all that. And I used to question it, like, well, how do you know? You weren't there, right? And they'd always fire back with all of this, and I didn't understand, right? I really didn't get a good conception of God until, man, like, I've always claimed to be a follower of Jesus, right?
Yeah.
but it's just like those memes. I follow Jesus, I obey Jesus, or whatever. I
Right.
follow God.
Right.
I was
Two
one of
different
those.
things.
Right. I was on that road that I believe, right,
Yeah. Yeah.
for so long. It wasn't until maybe, I don't know, 5, 6 months ago that I really started to dig deeper with Jesus and
Gotcha.
understand.
Yeah. To a point to where now you see him, you feel him, just the things around you is just incredible. The things
Right.
that happen to you are just incredible. The blessings you've received lately are incredible. It's just,
Right.
so now it's like a whole different thing. I got it.
Yep.
All right. So did you ever want to stop but didn't know how when you got into the drugs, and now you're fully established in the drugs, and
You know,
did you ever even think about stopping?
no, because I was in love with that lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know what I
Gotcha.
mean? Like I loved it
Yeah.
all. It wasn't necessarily that I was addicted to the drugs or the alcohol. I was addicted to everybody that did it, right?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
lifestyle, that life of crime, that fast life,
All
like
the drama that comes with it. Love
every
that
single
stuff.
thing. I was all up in it.
That's right. Yeah. I get it, man. I totally get it. And what was the lowest point for you? Tell us about your lowest point that you remember. You're like, wow, I've really exceeded my dream.
So my lowest point in my life would probably be hmm. The lowest part would be for me would be when my grandmother passed away because that's when it all really kicked off. You know what
Oh,
I mean?
gotcha. Yeah,
That's when it like really went downhill and that's when it really
gotcha.
became the low point.
Right.
But like even then, like when I would run from the group homes, like somehow my mom found me on top of that laundromat roof. Some like not necessarily on the roof, but when I climbed down, she was right there, and I was like, "What the heck? How did you know I was here?" Right? She took me home, and I thought that she was like gonna be a mother, right? No, she called my uncle, put me on a Greyhound, and sent me to New Mexico, right? Because my uncle said, "Yeah, send him here, send him here." And I went out there, and of course, I didn't like his rules. I want to do things my way and my way only. He made me get a job at this restaurant. It's called Murphy's Mule Barn, right? And
Sounds hillbilly to me, bro.
yeah. And I was a busboy, and I would get paid in cash. Okay, I was on the run from probation, right? I used like a fake name out there. They never asked me for any ID because I was underage, right? And he needed help paying bills, so he made me get that job to promise to help him. And the first check I got, I went and bought an ounce of dirt weed from
Mexican weed.
this
Talk about Mexican weed.
this northerner. They have a bunch of northerner hoods out there from this northerner, right? And he had a 55 Chevy Bel Air on hydraulics, and I was like, oh heck yeah, right? So I bought the weed. I smoked all of it. I never sold none of it. Okay. And one day my uncle found out something, right? The neighbor kid, I was smoking cigarettes with him. He was like 10 years old, told his dad, right? I had a cell phone that I wasn't supposed to have. So my uncle, somebody calls a cell phone, right? And I look at the number. I don't know who it is. I let him leave a voicemail. And I hear my uncle's voice in the background. My uncle used to beat the shit out of me with the belt. Okay. Anything that I told my grandma, like cuss words or flip her off, he would either one, make me hold it, a sign that said every single thing that I said to my grandmother in the hood. Okay. So you have all these people walking by. When I used to flip her off, he used to make me walk into 7-Eleven or stores with my middle finger up and go buy sodas, right? So the punishments, like you said, you got to punish your kids, right? His punishments were a little too much, just a little bit, right? Just a tad bit, right? But I get it. I get it. Nothing was working for me. So as soon as he called that cell phone there, I knew I was in deep crap, right? I hitchhike all the way from New Mexico back to California. Because that man right there, when he is mad, he is a very scary dude. You know?
I can see it.
Yeah, very scary. And then,
Wow.
yeah. Let me make sure this. So yeah, after that, what was the question?
It
Lowest point.
was. What was your lowest point? Yeah.
Yeah, the grandma.
Sorry, I was getting into your story here, bud. Okay, so while you were locked up, did anybody try to make a positive impact on you? Try to change your ways for next time you hit the streets, or a CO or a pastor or another inmate that was like running with the Christians?
So it's funny. So like I've been in juvenile hall many times, like 12 times, I think. When I made that move from juvenile hall to county, one of the what was he, a principal over there, juvenile hall or whatever. He would come and give homework packets out to us, right? Because like I was trying to get my diploma. And he seen me and he says, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "Well, this is the way my life went." And he would always try to be a positive influence, like say you're so much better than that, you're a smart kid when you apply yourself. And he would always buy me books. Like he would literally go buy the books with his own money that I wanted and bring them to me, right? And he'd always, every time I see him, give me the homework packet, give me some books. He would always just tell me like positive stuff, like, don't think that you're alone, that you're the only kid that's going through this, right? He says there's plenty of kids out there that go through this, that grew up without a father and mother. And he says that they may take this route for a little bit, but they do change their life. Like, and he'd always tell me, when is your time to change? And like, I appreciate him. His name is Mr. Keith Laszlo. So if you're listening, thank you, Keith Laszlo.
Thanks, Keith.
Yeah, thanks, Keith. But at the time, I didn't want to hear none of that, right? Like, I'm set in my ways. This is what I want to do, and I don't want to hear it, right? But like, he was one of the positive influences. The rest were all negative, man, because they were all the homeboys,
Right.
Even though at the time I thought it was positive, it really wasn't. Like, and let's be real, those types of people, like, because we live that life, they don't care about you, right?
No,
they don't care, right? We may think that they do at the time because they're showing us homeboy love. They're like giving us soups or making sure we're looked after, right? But the minute you get caught up, guess where they're at? They're running down the tier, or they're just nowhere, right? And it's like, I didn't see that, right? Like, because I struggled with being accepted. So it's like, all right, these guys are accepting me, right? Like, they never asked me to go put in all this work. I always raised my hand because I want to be accepted, right? And so yeah, that Keith Laszlo and my uncle were the positives,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, cool. So at what moment did you realize enough was enough and you were ready to make some changes in Brandon's life?
So in 2015, I decided maybe this life isn't for me after being in prison like 4 times, I think, right? Maybe like, even my dad at the time, he was like, "Oh, like, get it together, son. Get it together, son," And like, my mom was always there, but I used to do drugs with my mom, and like, it wasn't really like a mother-son relationship. It was more like friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, she had my little sister with her, and like, I really didn't feel welcome to stay there, right? So I was always on the street. So in 2015, I tried AA, right? I tried AA, and I couldn't connect with it. Like, I stayed around there maybe, I don't know, anywhere from 6 to 9 months. I had clean, okay? Parole was going good and all that. And then one day I left the parole office, and my buddy hits me up on Facebook, and he says, "Hey, come on by. Where are you at?" "Oh, I'm at this motel." "Okay, I'll be there." Right? knowing damn well I shouldn't go to this motel. Okay, like I have 9 months clean, right? Like 6 to 9 months. I don't remember. I go to this motel knowing exactly what is happening in that motel room, and I throw away that 6 to 9 months. Okay. And then I think I caught another prison term after that, and I got out in 2017.
What were
And
you doing to get prison terms?
stealing cars,
Your car
burglaries,
thief.
yeah, selling drugs. That's it. And the last one was attempted robbery and evading.
You ended up getting a strike for that.
I have 2 strikes right now. One for
Yeah.
residential burglary and then one for attempted.
Yeah, residential, man. Sucks.
Yep.
That sucks.
That used to be my bread and butter, bro. Like,
Me too.
yeah, when I was a kid, this is how, I don't want to say messed up because it's like it's what I knew, right? And a little kid walking around this neighborhood, they're not going to think nothing, right? So I go up to the door and I would knock, wait a little bit, knock again, ring the doorbell. If I didn't hear a dog bark or they never came to the door, I try the door. Door's not open. I go to the backyard. Sliders open, windows open. I'm going through there and I'm robbing the house, right? I would take the video games to GameStop. I would go fence the rest, and like that's the way it went, right? So I 2017, I get out, and same thing. I start getting loaded again, right? My first term, I got introduced to heroin. Okay, so now I'll chase anything that makes me feel good. Okay, especially if it's with all these cool people, I'm gonna go chase it with them. So heroin, meth, whatever you can put in a needle, I'm gonna do it. Okay. So once again, another motel's involved, right? And I get another idea, like, hey, what am I doing, right? What am I doing? So my parole officer calls me or whatever. I call him and he says, you missed today's appointment or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I know. And he's like, are you high? And I said, no. He says, you're lying. And I says, yep. He says, all right, I need you to go to, he goes, I'm going to leave this up to you. You either get yourself into a detox or you're going to go back to jail. Okay. So I call a detox, get into a detox. And that's where I met who I'm married to today, is in detox. Okay. So we fell in love, detox. Okay. And she finishes detox and of course we think we can fix each other, right? She just got out of like a bad domestic violence relationship with her ex-husband, and you have me that walks in with tattoos all over my face, right? Watch, where's my paper at? I don't know where it's at right now. I had tattoos everywhere, right? And she sees a dude walking with all these tattoos, and she tells the people there, that's my next relapse, right? But hey, we think we can change each other. We think we can make it work, so we go for it. She completes a detox, and I'm talking to her on the phone one night. I think I have like only a few hours, right? The next morning, I'm out of there, right? She calls me and said that she has a problem. So what do? I AWOL from the detox. Okay.
After just a few hours to be released, huh?
Yeah.
Checks
to go
out.
help, to go be Captain Save, right? And I go and we figure it out, whatever. And then I have the bright idea that I'm okay. I technically completed that detox. I'm going to go check in with my probation officer, right? I walk into the probation. He opens the door. He calls me in. And as soon as I step in the door, I get just charged by 4 cops. Boom. And they put my hands on my back. And I was like, what's this for? He goes, what do you mean, what's this for? He goes, you left detox early. And I said, by a couple hours, bro. And he goes, I don't care. He says, I was very strict with you on what I told you that you needed to do. And I said, so what are you going to give me? What are you going to slap me with? He goes, I'm only going to give you a 10-day flash, man. He goes, go in there, cool off. Let me tell you, going to jail sober is not fun.
No.
Okay, it is
No.
not fun, right?
Uh,
Because like, okay, cool, you're gonna give me 10 days. I'm coming down. Cool, I'll use that 10 days and I'll sleep and recharge, right?
yeah.
Going in there sober sucks because when you're going through the whole booking process, you can't sleep. All these other dudes are sleeping because they're coming down, right?
Right.
Like, bro, right? That was out of all the years I have done in an institution, those 10 days were the longest I have ever done.
Okay? I bet.
The longest. And my wife today would come visit me there, and she was still sober. She was doing AA and doing everything. So she gets me a sober living home for when I got out. And I walk into the sober living home, and I swear to you, it's AA Nazis. Okay? Like strict, bro, right? Like they tell me I got to do this and I got to do that, or else I can't live there. They tell me I can't have a girlfriend, and as soon as they said that, I'm out. Right? And I think I slept on the street that night until I can find something else. No. You know what it is? They kicked me out because I went to an AA meeting with my chick. Right? How are you going to kick somebody out for doing that? Because I didn't want to go with the rest of these dudes, right? So they kicked me out. I find a new sober living, like apartments that accepts girls, right? So I convince her to leave her sober living and come over here to these apartments. And yeah, we're sober, right? Well, we got it under control. Don't worry. And something doesn't go right at the apartment. Apartments are ghetto or whatever, right? So my boss, I got a job doing washers and dryers, installing them delivery. He had technically a sober living house, right? He says, yeah, I'll rent you guys a room. So, all right, cool. We pack up our stuff. He gives me a work truck to move everything over there, gives us this room. It is not a sober living at all. Okay. It's a trap house that says it's a sober living. Okay. Everybody there is messed up. So, of course, you put two freshly sobered people in this environment, right? What's going to happen? We ain't going to make it. Okay?
No.
So we start drinking beer at first and going to these little. My buddy was in like a band or whatever, so we'd go
on day one.
No. This is like couple weeks maybe, right? Not long. And we go to my buddy's shows and drink some beer, and then we started hanging out with this other guy, and he brought Coke, and then we started sniffing Coke, and then I said, I don't want to do cocaine no more. You got to do it every 30 minutes. It's a waste of money and it's a waste of my time. Let's go pick up some meth. Right?
There you go.
So now we're just, I tell my buddy, because he says, oh, remember you said that I shouldn't let you do meth? And I said, yeah, but don't let me slam. He says, all right. And then that didn't help. I had a needle in my arm by the end of the day. Right? And then, to my wife now, I was a piece of crap, right? I cheated on her all the time, hit her, right? And there was an instance where I technically ran her over with this U-Haul truck that we stole, right? And from right then and there, like, my life flipped, right? Never have I been this bad, okay? It was partly because I found out my mother passed away, okay? Even though we weren't close, that's your mom. That's the lady that gave birth to you, right? No matter your differences, like that. So when I found out that she passed away, and as soon as I got her cremated and did the little ceremony, celebration of life or whatever, I went off the deep end, and I started to become this person that I didn't know who I was. Okay. Me and my wife got in a fight that sober living. They kicked us out because they said, no, we don't want that drama here. So we rented this U-Haul pickup truck and took all the decals off of it and loaded up all of our stuff and our pit bull in the car. And we started going on this crime spree of hitting all these stores, right? They took the truck. We ended up getting a van, manipulated our friend into renting it. And we threw a love seat in the back of that transit van. And we went all over Orange County, hitting Walmarts, any kind of store, right? And I'm having the time of my life, right? Our goal is to get enough money to go up to Idaho for Christmas and see her family, thinking that they're not going to know something's really weird, right? Something's really weird. And
Everybody gets Walmart items for Christmas. Is that what's happening?
yeah. Yep. And then we hit a Macy's and during
there
Christmas
we go.
time, right? We hit a Macy's, and I wait in the van because I cannot walk into a store without security being called. Okay. And I wait. I'm just a getaway driver. You jump in, load the stuff, and we're gone, right? Every time it works like that. This time it didn't work like that, man. And the loss prevention grabs her, whatever. She gets away. I take off. Turns into a full-on high-speed pursuit. I hit the loading dock in the back of the stores with the van, made it, right? Got caught up in traffic, went through another parking lot, crashed, tried to run. My leg was messed up, got busted, right? It's my fifth time gonna go to prison, right? And they started hitting me with like 18 years for all this stuff, and I didn't care. I still didn't care even then. And I do my term. My wife she rides it out with me. We do the trial, and we lose. Of course, it's Orange County. You can never win here. And she gets time served and probation. I get sent upstate again. And I got upstate, hit the reception, hit the main line, and then I was selling dope. You know what I mean? I was a dope man. I got in good with my neighbor who got it. He break me off for holding it for him. I would sell what I had, do what I had. I came out more sucked up than when I went in, right? And so I get out, and this is the turning point right here, right?
Good.
Because I've tried to get sober, right? But I really didn't put it wholeheartedly into. I didn't put effort into it wholeheartedly. So I get out. Once again, she has a sober living lined up for me. She paid for a whole month. Okay, she got me some clothes, and it's during COVID, right? Nothing's happening. I can't go get an ID. I can't go get a job. I can't do anything. I'm stuck in this house, and I'm sitting on the couch, and I have this bright idea to hit up my friends and to go hang out. Okay, I go hang out with them, and that ends up me getting kicked out of the sober living because they drug tested me. So I'm back on the street. I go to all these motel rooms, and I was sitting in the Red Roof Inn in Santa Ana, and it clicked. And I felt the light go off in my head, and I never felt that feeling in my life. Okay. And I sat there and I thought to myself, here you are with 2 strikes sitting in this hot motel, right? With the needle in your arm. When are you going to start going out there and doing crime and go back to prison for your 3rd strike where you're never going to get out again? Right? So I sat there and I didn't want it anymore. I was tired of the way I lived. I didn't know who I was. Okay. I never knew who I was because I was always riding somebody else's coattails because I wanted to be accepted. And I called my parole officer. And I tell him, look, man, I've never done this before, but I need your help. And he says, what do you mean? And I said, look, this is what I'm doing. He says, where are you at? And I says, I'm not going to tell you where I'm at. I said, but I'm safe right now. But I said, I need help. And he tells me, I'm sorry, due to COVID-19, I can't help you because we don't have any resources. He says, take care, be safe, and have fun. Right? And when I hung up the phone, I had instant resentment towards this guy, towards the state of California, right? Because we've all heard how the state of California sets you up for failure, right? Right off the bat. But we're naive, right? We're naive and we only want to see things our way, okay? California does provide resources if only you want the help, right? Only if you make the move and you want the help. So I was at a fork in the road right there. You can sit in this motel room even longer and go out there and do crime, and you can possibly get a life sentence, or you can do the work yourself. Screw probation and parole, right? You don't need them. That same detox I went to before, I called them and they said, yeah, they'll take me. So I stayed up all night smoking meth because I did not want to miss my chance at that freedom. I went to the detox and I actually completed it, didn't leave a few hours before. And when I was there, my wife said, if you want me to be in your life or have anything to do with you, you will do a 3-month program. And I said, no, I don't need a program. I'm good. Right. I got my detox on. I got 10 days under my belt, or 7 days. I forget how long that is. And she's all, no, that's not enough. She goes, you are going to go to this program and you are going to complete it. And you are going to bring me home the chip that they give you when you complete, or I can't do this. All right, fine. So I get put on the list for the Phoenix House, Santa Ana. Completed the detox, go back to the sober living home because there's a waiting list. And I kept my ass on that couch because I refused to go out there in the world. And because I wasn't strong yet, right? If I see a homeless people walking down the street, I'll be asking you, hey, you got any dope? Right? So I stayed in there. The day that program called me, I went. And like, I've been to juvenile hall, I've been to county jail, I've been to prisons. We know we have all these programs in there, right? That similar to what they teach in rehabs. So I'm sitting in these classes and yeah, I know exactly what they're saying, right? And like before, I'd like, yeah, shut up. I already know this. Shut up, right? But this time I sat there, even and as I still listened, but as I'm sitting there in that class, I was listening to it and learning how to apply it to my life instead of just listening or even just saying, oh, I already know that. Shut up, right? I learned how to apply it to my life. I completed that 90-day program. I then got a sponsor for Alcoholics Anonymous, did the steps with a couple of people. I didn't feel the connection that everybody got that has, right? They have like this AA glow to them, and they're just like, I'm not saying that I'm not complete inside. I have a different kind of complete. They have the AA complete. I have the Jesus Christ complete now, right? And but I still hung around those dudes, and I'm still friends with many of them. I hung around for about 3 years clean, just to make sure that I had the right footing before I ever stepped out from that circle, right? And yeah, I had sponsees and all that, but I never understood the big book. So how am I going to lead you on this course of sobriety if I don't even understand what the book's saying, right? Like mostly I was just a friend to them and like somebody to talk to. And yeah, we read the book together, right? Don't get me wrong. But did I give them my absolute best to try to get them sober? I mean, some of them are still sober. One of them passed away sober from his health. But like, I just couldn't connect with it. But that doesn't mean that I couldn't stay sober and I couldn't get sober, right? Now, today, as the result of change, I have over 5 years clean, right? I finally met my dad last year when I got married. I have when I was younger, I had a son at age 16. I did not speak to him for 15 years. Within the last year, we got in contact and we're building a relationship. You know, my stepchildren, they didn't like me. I was the biggest piece of crap, right? Today they look up to me, and like our daughter lives with us. She moved back from Idaho, and like we're all like, it's amazing to do that full turn, right? Because now I have everything and more in my life that I ever deserved, right? And I'm putting Jesus. I haven't learned to trust him completely, right? Like we talked about it the other day, like but like I do trust him, and I need to rely on him completely. And sometimes I still want to grab that steering wheel and drive my car, right? But I always crash it. So it's like I know we're not perfect, and I know we'll never be perfect, but I strive to be better every single day, you know? And today my life is blessed today. Like I don't deserve this life after everything. I should be in prison for the rest of my life right now.
Yeah. I'm glad you're not, you know.
Same.
Back when I was doing crime, like I think, you know, I have a strike myself, and the last like any felony after 2 strikes is will strike you out. I don't know if it's still like that or
I think the third
you
one has to
know.
be violent now.
Oh, it does.
I think so.
So you got a little bit better of a chance, but there's only so far you can go through a day when you're using and abusing before you're going to do something violent. Because
Yep.
every day of every single day of my life when I was using, my wife can co-sign for this. I was a violent character. I mean, I looked for it. I loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it. The more violence around me, the safer I felt.
Right.
And it was just crazy. It's like, what are you doing?
Yep.
But yeah, I'm glad you're here. And man, what a blessing you are now. I mean, it's planting seeds everywhere you go. I love that, always doing the homeless thing. And man, that's great. So how has faith played a role in your recovery?
Okay, so like I said, I didn't really get too involved with the religion until a few months ago, right? 6-7 months ago. And but at like I said, I've always known that there's a God, and I've got over the years since I was a kid, I've gotten more closer to him, right? But it's like, and I got over that thing about how can you believe in something you can't see, right? So faith today in my program, it gives me hope that there's something greater out there, right? And that's Jesus Christ and God, right? It's not it's those things that make you keep on going, right? And just when you think that like you're not really gaining momentum in life or something, God will hit you with a God shot. Boom.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like before I would be oblivious to those things and just be like, oh, I'm lucky, right? But it's not luck. It's
no.
There's always a plan and God knows what he's doing, right? So like don't fight it, right? Like of course we still fight it, right? Let's be real, right? But it's like we learn how to not fight it so much every single day, right? And the blessings are abundantly, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we still got to put in the work. Like we're the farmers, right? We gotta harvest the crops, right? If we don't put that work in, guess what? There ain't gonna be no harvest at the end,
right?
When it's time to get it, right?
Yeah.
Like we got to put in the work. We got to grow. We got to water. We got to take care of that crop. And that's what I try to do every single day, right? So that's how my faith helps me get through.
Good. That's great. Have you struggled at all along the way? I mean, what are you everybody struggles. Like what are yours? What do you struggle with? You kind of told us one about completely trusting in Jesus.
Yeah.
So
there's that one, right? And then there's also the other one of this relates to trusting Jesus, right? I want it now and I want it my way. Okay. Like that's one of my struggles still is because I want that instant gratification of everything that I want, right? Like I want it now. Like I want a Hellcat, I want a Dodge Ram, right? I want a big house, right? And it's like a few people will check me on it and put me in my place and say, hey, it's really not your time. You know what I mean? It's not up to you. It's when God sees fit that you have that, right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that's one of the big things I struggle with is always trying to force God's hand.
Gotcha. I think back when you had interviewed me a while back, you were saying that we were talking a little bit about anger, and you were saying maybe at work or something you had some anger. Yeah. How you doing with that?
So lately it's gotten sort of better, right? I mean, we're human, we're going to get mad, right? But
always.
But it's gotten better. I really don't get as angry anymore. It's kind of gotten better.
Good.
Yeah, it's still a work in progress, but
always we'll be excavating new problems our whole life, I think, and working on them. And that's part of the fun. It's fun.
Right. And what it boils down to at work is I know my job. I know how to do my job. You don't know how to do my job, so stay out of my business and don't try to tell me what to do.
That's
Right?
right.
That's what it boils down to. Like you
Yeah.
work in the office, you don't know anything about my job out here. All I know is that you're
Right.
trying to shove all this steel in my warehouse and it's not going to fit.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for you. Temptations ever?
No.
No.
Like
Good.
like the like I'm going to use AA terms right now. Like the obsession has been completely lifted. Like I don't like when we go out there and do our ministry, like people will be out there smoking the pipe, doing whatever, right? And it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I see it, but do I have that obsession to go, hey, can I get a hit? Nah. Like
Yeah.
do your thing, man. Like
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You'll get to where I'm at soon, I hope, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I see characters like that. I get gas every morning about 4 o'clock in the morning at this Arco across the sunrise from my house. And yeah, I deal with people every morning like that. They'll be out there smoking the pipe, and I'll be giving them Jesus stuff, because they always want something. They either want a pack of smokes or a couple gallons of gas or something. It's just
Yeah,
like a everyday. I feel like I go there just for that because I love that interaction. I try to talk to them, and it's fun, but man, I feel bad. Like especially now, there's so many of them out there. It's just.
yeah,
Like, good Lord, what's
I
going
know.
on? It's getting worse and worse and worse. I mean, I don't know if it's just a California thing because you can do whatever you want around here,
Right.
Or what. But man, it's just around here. There's some characters. We live right on the American River too, so you got homeless coming off the river, and,
Right.
So it's tough, dude. It's really
Right.
tough. What message do you share with others that are struggling?
Man, if you're still struggling out there, first off, you can't get the help until you want the help, right? So it's
For
like it boils down to you on how sick and tired you are, right? Are you tired of living on the street? Are you tired of not having family? Are you tired of going to jail? Tired of going to prison, right? Tired of living in misery? Tired of always being mad at yourself, right? Because we were all mad at ourselves, right? But we would blame everyone else for our actions, right? We were never mad at ourselves, right? Let me put it that way. But like if you're struggling, like you can always reach out to me on my TikTok, right? On my YouTube, Broken to Redemption podcast. And like I'm always there to listen, man. Like I'm always there. Like if you need resources, I will get you the resources. But it's like if you're struggling, get help, find Jesus, start praying.
Mm-hmm.
If put your faith in him, and maybe it's not maybe he will help you, but you have to help. You have to want the help.
Right. Right. Just a reminder to everybody too is like this time we have on earth, we get 2 dates with a little bitty dash in between them, and we get that little dash of what we're doing is for our future, for eternity. Eternity is a long time.
Right.
And that's what we're working for. I mean, we can't work to get into heaven, but we can work for rewards and riches while we're down here on earth. There's only one way to get saved, and that's asking Jesus to come into your heart, and and mouthing that he died on the cross for our sins and he rose on the third day. Jesus loves everybody, and even the people that mock him, he loves them. And that's the whole goal, is for us to be planting seeds everywhere we go and pointing people towards Jesus Christ to get them saved. That is all that matters. It's not about anything else. It's not about our career or anything else.
Right.
That's what we're trying to do. That's what I try to do. And like every day that goes by, it gets to be more important to me. And I take more opportunities to find new ways to plant seeds, whether it's wearing shirts, giving out crosses, giving out baby Jesus, giving out salvation tracts, giving out stickers, whatever it is. All those are seeds that can be planted now, and they may not grow for 4 years, but
Right.
someone will look back eventually and be like, Gosh, I remember that guy gave me that sticker or that baby Jesus, and what he said was so incredible. And I just want to be more like that, and they'll get saved. When I get to heaven, I want to have at least a few people around me that I don't know, but they know me.
Right.
And they're like, because of your courage, I am here. Without ever meeting you, I would be there.
Right.
Thank you. That's the whole point. But anyway, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Got off on a rabbit trail. All right, I got a really good question. This is the one I really wanted to ask you. How do you define success?
Okay, so it's funny. I was because you showed me what you were going to ask me right a few days ago, and this question stood out to me. Okay.
Funny because this is the one I really wanted to ask you.
Okay, so look at this.
Is that weird?
Yeah.
That
Yeah. So success is not defined by how much money you have, right? What kind
Agreed.
of house you have, what kind of car you drive, what kind of jewelry you have, okay, what kind of phone you have. I really feel that true success is how you feel in here, and how you are with him upstairs.
Yeah.
That's success, right? Because all these other things of the world don't matter, right?
No.
Your
It's all
heart,
gonna burn.
your mind, and your relationship with Jesus matters. That's true success.
That's right. Absolutely. Cool. Excellent. Okay, so if you could talk to your younger self, what would you say? You today, what would you say?
So I'm going to say it like this, right? You are going to go through a very tough life, okay? You're going to go through life always wanting to be accepted, and it's going to lead you down this hole of drug addiction, alcohol, right? Addicted to a life of crime, okay? But hold on tight, because the ride's not over from that. Your life's going to get so much better when you're in your 30s, because I do not, everything that I've done in my life, I do not regret, okay? I do not say that I wish I can start over, because God had a plan. God had the plan the whole time, right? Like, yeah, I went through all of this stuff, right? But there's a plan. So I do not regret or wish to take any of it back, because it is what made me the man I am today.
God was when you went through, even though you hurt people, even though you disappointed so many, that was all for education, for broken to redemption.
Yeah.
Now you are qualified better than anybody who went to Harvard and never used or abused or did crime ever. You are now qualified to talk to people that a lot of people can't reach.
Right.
Only people like you and I and others that do what we do, we reach people because we speak the language. We can't go to a corporate office and go get people pointed toward Jesus. We'd look like idiots because we don't even dress correctly. We don't wear Armani suits.
Yeah.
We look like thugs, kind of.
Yeah.
So we reach these people on the streets that I'm not saying corporate people don't need to be reached. They do, just they have a whole other sickness.
Right.
But yeah, we are educated to reach our kind of people. You know what I mean? Right. So I think it's incredible that you and I went through everything we did. I wouldn't change a thing, because I picked up so much education, even though I hurt people on the way.
Yeah.
Like I say, it's a good purpose that we serve, and especially now with my videos, your podcast, and what you hit the streets the way you do with the homeless, and the way I do out here in my area. I love my life now.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like I'm doing something with some awesome purpose. It gives me goosebumps. Not to like praising myself. It's all for God's glory. And every time I can give God a little more glory, makes me so happy. Yep. And when I pray a lot, and I say, hey, if I ever get prideful, you correct me right on the spot. Oh, look, I get 10 more subscribers. No, those aren't yours, you idiot. those are not yours. Those people they're not there for you. They're there for the word. They're there for the love of God. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. So tell me about Broken to Redemption. Tell me where it will be, like, in all your hopes in 3 years.
So what Broken Redemption started out as is inspirational speaking for the lost, right? People in rehab, kids that are on the right path in life, and trying to get them to stay on the right path. I could have been a pro baseball player when I was a kid. I played Little League. I played every single position, and I was an all-star. Not to toot my own horn or anything, right? But I was a badass on the field. I gave it all away because of the lifestyle I chose. So if I can get out there and I can talk to people, right? Addicts, alcoholics, gang members, families affected by it, at-risk youth, or kids that are on the right path, and try to redirect their lives, right? It makes my life full of purpose, and I can save lives. Okay. Being that I work a full-time job, I started this podcast because I can't always go and speak at these rehabs or places, right? I may get into a middle school to go speak, and I may be getting into Corcoran next year to go speak, God willing, right? So I started this podcast thing to still get messages out there, try to get stories of hope. And what separates me from everybody else is that I do them live. Because what are the chances somebody's sitting on YouTube just scrolling and they're going through something, they're having a bad day, and this pops up on their thing, and they sit and listen and actually want to get the help and change their lives, right? But Broken Redemption has turned into so much now. So I have inspirational speaker, I have the podcast, I do homeless outreach, right? This Christmas, I'm going to do a toy drive and donate it to the Orangewood Children's Home down the road. And like, I just initially I wanted to be for broken people, right? But like, everybody matters, right?
Everybody.
I want this to be a community thing. I want to reach the homeless. I want to help the children. I want to take stuffed animals and flowers to a senior living thing and give them out, because there's some people in there that their families forgot about them, right?
For sure.
Like, go in there and spend time with them and like talk with them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's a community thing, right?
Yeah.
And I so badly want to make this thing a nonprofit and do all these great things, but it's really not up to me, right? It's up to the man upstairs on what direction he wants me to take, you know. And I'm still guilty of getting ahead of the game and jumping it and like saying that this is what I want to do and all this, and it sounds like pipe dreams, right? But it's like, this is what I want to speak it into existence. And if, Lord, you hear me and this is in your will, then I know you will provide it, right? Like, I get ahead of myself still, but like 3 years, I really want to have a center. I want to have a center open for homeless. I want to have a center open for addicts, alcoholics, gang members, right? Community, the places that they can come and get resources, right? And I know there's plenty of those out here, right? And my buddy Sam, he has a gym, and he asked me, he says there's like 5 of those places that you want to do, and there's 2 more coming in the next few years. But what's gonna make yours stand out, right? And what's gonna make mine stand out is that I'm gonna have 24/7 available services, right? I believe that those ones that are out here close at a certain time. What about those people that get out of jail at 2 a.m. and don't have nowhere to go? You can walk on down the street to Broken Redemption. I can get you resources and a hot meal. But that it's neither here nor there right now. Like, it's a brainstorm, and if it's in God's will, it'll happen. If not, God, I'm still going to continue to do my thing with speaking at rehabs, hopefully schools, do my podcast, and continue to do my community outreach.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. Very good. Well, those were my questions for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, I screwed up the intro. Gosh.
No, you're good.
Now you know what I'm talking about, right?
I didn't even see it. Yeah,
I screwed it up, dude. I think we had a plan, and I diverted from the plan a little bit. Yeah, but we'll talk about that later, bro.
It'll be good. It'll be good.
Anything else you want to add, or anything we left out that
I think we covered it all.
I think so too. I think that worked out pretty good.
Yeah, because I don't like to get on here and glorify my prison life, right? Like, yeah, I've been to prison and I did all this stuff and I did all of these crimes, right? But it's like, let's not resonate too long on all of those things, right? Because they are a part of my story, but it's like I don't want to glamorize it or put it on a pedestal. What I want to put on the pedestal is the solution on how I got out of that.
Yeah.
That's what,
No,
that's what
I
these are
get
for.
that.
Yeah.
I get that.
I could go on and on about prison stories.
Oh, me too. It's
Yeah.
my first saltwater lighter I made.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's I know I agree, man. Like a lot of people ask me about my past and stuff, and I have a lot of pictures and videos from when I was all messed up. And my buddy, he's 29 years old, but he's super intelligent and he's totally not the lifestyle. He loves going through my phone and looking at my videos, and
Really?
he's like, I can't believe that's you. You know.
It's funny. My wife showed my daughter a video yesterday, and my daughter said, I don't want to see that. That's sad, right? And then I showed her the photo when I got out of prison, right? Bro, I must have weighed like, I don't know, 140, 150, 160. It was bad.
Yeah, I've been there, buddy. I've been there. It's terrible. Yep. It is. Now, man, I weigh 234 pounds. I'm going to have to do something about this. I'll tell you that.
I weigh 280.
That is my problem, is I have a hard time controlling my food consumption.
Yeah, I
love to eat, bro.
Yeah, me too. I hear that lunch truck coming at work and I'm running out the door.
All right.
Wait for me.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do anything about it. My wife's good about it, but man, I am terrible.
Yeah, I love to eat.
Me too. And then I'm lazy. I don't want to go run. That hurts. That's hard. 47 years old, dude. Ain't no cops behind me. Ain't running nowhere. All right. Well, I think that's it.
That's it. That's the show.
Yeah, that was a good one, man. That was excellent. Not bad for a slap like me to,
run a podcast.
Try to host something.
Yeah.
You did great.
Thank you, bro. You too.
I learned a lot about you today too. So I know we talk every day, but we don't really get to get into everything. So
right. Yeah.
And I appreciate that too. Like the good mornings.
Yeah.
That's great. I love that stuff. I love it. So thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So next weekend I go up to San Jose Saturday.
Oh yeah. So I got to see if I can make that happen.
Yeah, no, don't worry. I'll get up there again. See you guys.
When are you going to Fort Bragg?
Well, we haven't decided yet.
Okay. Well, whenever you do that, we'll definitely get together. I want to do something nice for you. So
okay, sounds good.
Yeah. All right, brother. You have a good day, and
you too.
I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Later.
All right, man. Bye.
Oh, God. I need you to get me out again, God. I'm locked up behind these walls again, God. I got these chains. I'm shackled from my hands to my feet. If you get me out this one more time, God, I promise. Broke into redemption. Yeah.
There you have it. Interviewed by Jamin Porter from Felon to Faith Ministries. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing my story. I know you guys are wondering, how can this guy have a podcast and not have his own story out there? Well, there it is. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Until next time, take care and be safe.